Hey, welcome back. We're going to try and tackle the bedsides today. Get those shortened up so that way we can start bolting our bed back together for a Sauerkraut C10. I went ahead and got some old rickety sawhorses rigged set up here and brought the driver's side panel in. As you can see, she's super duper straight, so it's probably not going to line up very well, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we need to take a chunk out of here and another chunk out of here. Something I noticed that's pretty neat, this trim on this old truck, it's got like a wood grain in it. I don't know if that was a special option or not. Anyway, long story short, that's what we're gonna try and do today, and let's get started. Well, there was a slight camera malfunction, but I started cutting that with the cutoff wheel already, and then we got up here into the top of the bed here, and well, the cutoff wheel doesn't really fit in there that well, so I went and grabbed my old trusty Sawzall here. She's old, but it works really good. I mean, it's still one of the ones that you still got to use an Allen wrench to change the blade, so I spent the last 10 minutes putting a brand new blade in there, so we should be good to go. But yeah, I think this will work better to get through the corner here. I don't know, we're gonna find out. Actually worked pretty good. We're down to the outer skin there. Do the same thing here. We'll flip the thing over to cut the top side. All right, there's one. Alright, and then that's the piece that you don't need anymore. And just for kicks and giggles, yeah, we're 11 7/8, which is where we should be, because 1/16 of an inch for each cut. Hopefully that means they'll go back together right. Alright, we're going to cut this rear section next, and I've watched some videos and read some articles, and there's apparently like 18 different ways to do the back. Same with the front, I guess. You know, some guys, put the line way back at the edge here, and then move this up, and blah, blah, blah. Some guys cut at an angle, and go in front of this, and move it over. Either way, you're playing Tetris. Since this is all wavy and probably not going to line up very well when I put it back together anyway, I think what we're going to do, we're just going to take 8 inches out right behind the wheel well and call it a day, because I think that'll be the quickest way. So there's not really a good spot to measure off of like in the front, so I think we're just going to have to pick a spot, try and run a fairly straight edge across, and then we'll just measure our 8 inches over and take it out. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's perfectly square or not, as long as it's 8 inches horizontally. So let's grab the masking tape and we'll make a line. All right, now that we got our reference point, we'll measure 8 inches back from there, make a bunch of marks, add another line, and we're gonna run with it. Alright, so there's about a dozen marks there, so that should hopefully be enough to keep our line somewhat straight. 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches-ish, 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches. All right, I would say that's close enough. Yeah, we'll go ahead and, like we did on the other side, we'll flip this over, mark the inside, and start cutting. And this is interesting in here too. That's definitely not straight. I mean, what we did on the other side seemed to work out pretty good, so we'll try that again. All right, let's see how close we got. Not. Nope. Even worse. All right. Well, good thing about that is this tape can come up. We could probably just use the same philosophy we did on the other side. Make marks at 8 inches, and then tape match our mark. There's 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches. All right, I can live with that. Hey, there's my wrench I dropped in the steak pocket that I couldn't find. Look at that. There we go. Perfect. Not a scratch. Anyway, this is the piece that we need to try and save. All right, so this is what we're left with after we got the ends cut off. These are the pieces that we don't need anymore. And then there's the rear section and the front section. I'll probably end up setting this all up on the floor, I think, so I have a nice flat surface to do my best to get things to line back up. The front I'm not so worried about, but this is, there's about a bit of a mountain range in that one. All right, so here's the basic layout here. That's the idea. We'll get the tape peeled off of here. We'll see if we can't get these things lined up somewhat well. I got some panel clamps I'm probably going to try and use, and we'll see if we can't get these babies welded back together. I'm not going to grind it back very far, just enough so that way we can basically get a bead started. So I'm not planning on painting any of these panels. I'm going to leave the, original GM paint because it's in such great shape. All All right, and the biggest thing I think is going to be is making sure that this top edge lines up. Although it appears there's a big mine's not flat, so we might go ahead and adjust that stake pocket there a little bit. And so that way hopefully this will lay flat on the floor, because I think that will help immensely in trying to get stuff lined up. That'll probably do what I wanted, but not necessarily the way that I was hoping it would do it. Better than what it was. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's see where the front edge lines up. Maybe we'll start there. I bought a set of these little clamps. They're supposed to help. They're super cheap. I've seen a bunch of other people use them. I've never tried them myself. These particular ones came from the Harbor of Freights. So the idea is you put them in there and this little piece can be slid out, so when they're, after you tack it, you can pull them out. But they don't really make it easy to get set up if you can't get to the back side, I guess. I would say for a single layer piece of sheet metal, these probably work great. In this particular application, I'm not sold. But we're gonna try them anyway. I mean, I got them. We'll see, maybe. Maybe it'll change my mind. Problem is up here, I can't get my hand in on the backside because it's double walled. I think we're just going to have to get it lined up in one spot, tack it, and then massage it as we go, and hope for the best. You know, doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to work. So we started tacking. It seems to be lining up pretty good. Where these clamps actually are, this is held together actually pretty well. These seem to work okay. They're just kind of a little bit of a pain to deal with, but this is where we're at. We're gonna keep on rolling here. So I threw a clamp on there and it seemed to help line up the top rail there, and it seems pretty straight. I mean, I just originally went off of this corner right here because I figured that was gonna be the hardest part to get to, and then we could work our way from there. So the gap's a little big, but we'll get her welded up. And then the inside's not too terrible here. Yeah, it should be fine. We'll go ahead and we'll get that all tacked up, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got the inside all tacked together, top of the rail. We already did the face, you know, the outer face. So the front half of the bed should be good. Obviously we'll have to finish weld that, but we'll worry about that later. We'll go ahead and move on to the back half, and we'll see if we can't get that on there too. All right, so I got the inside tacked together on the back. She's a little thin in the bottom edge, so I don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna add just a little strip of metal on the back side, just so I can weld on on the front, on the lower. But it's coming together. It's fitting back together better than I thought it would with how bent up it was. We'll see what it looks like when I get it back on the truck. All right, it's all tacked together. It didn't line up too terribly bad. The front was pretty straight, but back here, this all these dents, I was actually able to get that mountain range of a dent to kind of line up with itself. So it almost looks like the dent was put in when it was in there. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm just gonna leave it tack welded for now, and we'll get it mounted up on the truck before I finish it all off, just in case something weird happens and I have to take it back apart again. I don't have to cut a whole weld. I just gotta cut, you know, the 8 million tacks that I got on there. And I mean, it's pretty sturdy as it's gonna get with the rust and stuff that it's got in it. So I'd say this side's basically done. We gotta do the other side yet, and then we can start putting the bed together. So here's the passenger side, which is, I guess, the better of the two panels. I don't know. I think it's a little less rusty, but it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's a big dent there and here and there. And there's a big dent right on the leading edge here. But it looks like it got into the support piece that everything wraps around. So in a perfect world, you'd be able to just slap the end of it off and curl it over and make that go away and be pretty. But I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. I'm gonna just do this side just like the other side, and we'll see what we come up with. There's a bunch of lichens and stuff growing on this one. This must have been, I don't know if this is the shady side of the truck or what, but gives it some character, I guess. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do the same thing we did with the other side, and we'll see how it goes. All right, here's the passenger side. We got her all tacked together. I mean, it's got a nice character dent up there in the front, but you know, considering what we started with, I don't think it looks all half bad. You know, it's definitely not what I would call straight, but it didn't start out that way either. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start trying to assemble this bed. All right, I pulled Sauerkraut back inside the shop here because it's got super windy all of a sudden, and it kind of looks like it might storm. So we'll do it in here where we won't get rained on. But anyway, the bed floor that we shortened earlier is sitting right here. I got the front panel there ready to go. A bunch of new bolts that I got, a bunch of washers in the bucket there, our original hardware. Some of that we're gonna need. But anyway, here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing put together. I'm sure this will be super duper easy by myself. All right, I'm gonna MacGyver it with a ratchet strap there just to kind of hold things in place. Hopefully that'll make it easier to get the hardware together. All right, so those bolts are started. I'll go grab a bedside. Probably do, I don't know, I do the passenger side first, I guess. It doesn't really matter. But we'll see if we can't get a bedside slid in here. We'll need nut and bolt here for the sides to that. Yeah, we'll see if we can't get a bedside on here. So this actually slides just underneath the wheel well here, which is, I assume, why most guys take these off. Looks like we're going to have to drill a couple holes. It lines up exactly, but it's on there. Appears to be the right length. Feels fairly solid. I think we're heading in the right direction. All right, so it's all together. I still got to bolt it down to the frame, but the bed itself is all assembled. Tailgate's on. I'll probably, I don't know. Only one side on mine had a weld down here from the factory. So probably run a little bead there. But I would say for the most part, it's all done. Tailgate latch is a little sticky, so I gotta mess with that so that way it actually latches. We'll do something, but I think it turned out all right considering what we started with. I think that's gonna do it for this one. If you were gonna shorten one of these beds yourself, I think you could probably do it in a really good long, good weekend if you really hit it hard for a couple of days. It took me a little bit longer than that because I spent a bunch of time patching that piece in the floor, and that took quite a bit of time. And this thing took forever to take apart. We had to cut a lot of the bolts out and stuff like that, and it just that took quite a while. I think it went back together quicker than what it came apart. As far as the shortening aspect of it is, you'd be able to shorten the floors and both bedsides within one day, and then I mean you've got your disassembly and reassembly. But all in all, it's not too bad to do. I know mine wasn't very straight or nice to start with, and it's still not very nice or straight. So maybe, you'd spend a little bit more time if you had one that you were actually worried about keeping, looking really nice, to try and keep your body work to a minimum. But all in all, it's not a terrible project to tackle. But anyway, thanks for watching the videos. Be sure to like and subscribe, share it with your friends, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.